All right, so I'm here with Ernie Cox, and Ernie and I are just going to talk a little bit about read and write in his classroom. Actually, I'm going to frame him up here so we can actually see him, even though we were just going to listen primarily. So, Ernie, you were telling some really cool stories about read and write in your classroom. So, first of all, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us, what you teach, your content, all those things, and then let's talk a little bit about the actual tool.
Sure. I'm Ernie Cox. I teach 10th grade sophomore English language arts at Prairie High School. We of course write, composition and reading are all happening simultaneously in ELA now. Google Read and Write has turned out to be a really valuable tool on the composition side for many kids. Story we were talking about before we started recording was we were writing some quick responses to an Edgar Allan Poe short story. And a student was trying to type insane asylum and had the word insane, did not know where to begin with asylum. I showed him the prediction tool in Google Read and Write, and the power of that tool is it's contextually predicting words as well as based on letter entry. He had no letters. He didn't know how to begin the word asylum, but the word insane prompted predictor to give asylum as the first option, and he was off and going. So it's a simple tool, but it really has the power of giving kids more language to bring into their writing. And I think that's another thing that we are finding is giving kids the ability to record responses. Like we're going to get more language out of them, and they're willing to expand on their thinking and language in a way that they may shut down a little bit on the writing side for concerns about conventions or spelling and some of those things. So, overall, what I'm seeing Read and Write do is just give kids a more expansive field to get into language and try language out.
That's awesome. So, and just to be crystal clear, we're not talking about kids. Most of these kids wouldn't have IEPs. I mean, I guess you probably have a few who might, but you're talking your general population
Absolutely,
of kids,
yeah.
right? I mean,
yeah, and I think that's one of the things we've been talking a lot about is how do we make the use of these kinds of tools a normal part of business. So I've been doing a lot to model the use of those when I'm doing direct instruction. For example, if I had a group go back and do a close reading of an informational text and I wanted them to pay close attention to how authors use statistics or numbers, I would model that with another article, and I would literally show them how I would highlight the different use of numbers and stats, annotate it, and just using the tool in front of them in direct instruction. I also think we've underestimated how much kids can do that don't have all of those labels. We have tended to look at that as the only way to think about using these tools. And what I have found is when I give kids the option of getting to content in different formats, and particularly when they're working in a social setting with a small group, they will often use the audio version so they can all hear the thing that we're reading or thinking about together.
Yeah, all at the same time,
so they
right?
have the common experience of hearing it and then discussing it. So what I'm finding is the more you put those out there and make it a sanctioned thing, I'm seeing really interesting uses that kids are coming up with organically as well as how I've directly modeled.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much, Ernie. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.